recording. All right. So of all the plants that we studied so far, right, we have algae without embryo, with no embryo, and we have all the plants have embryo phase, and then within plant we have bryophyte without vascular tissue, and the tracheophyte with vascular tissue. So everything from now on is tracheophyte, is with vascular tissue, and then this week we study the seedless plant, the plant without seed, right? And there are two groups here that we learned on this morning. There's no flower with flower. We'll talk about that next week. And there are two groups, the one with microphyll. Again, microphyll is leaf with only one vein here. And then megaphyll is the leaf with multiple veins. And like I said this morning, the group that we learned about earlier is the one that with the really reduced leaf. It's difficult, it's almost impossible to look at your eyes and say, oh, this is come from megaphyll. It's happened over millions of years, kind of like reducing, and we learn it through DNA sequencing and everything else. So that we know it's actually in the same group, right? And then we have spermopsida. So this week we're gonna learn about this, the actual true megaphyll, the one with the real megaphyll here. So once again, Lycopodiophyta have microphyll, and the rest of the stuff that we learn in this class is Monilophyta and Spermopsida and everything else with megaphyll. Like almost all plants you see out here have megaphylls, have big leaves, have branching veins, like clearly megaphyll. So the character of monilophyte, so monilo is a weird term. It just can think of it as a fern, simply fern, like true fern, right? They are sporophyte dominant, so all the plant you see are sporophyte. It's a spore producing plant, right? The plant is producing spore. Sporophyte means spore producing plant. That's what they do. And now they have true vascular system throughout their system. Root, stem, leaf, they all have vascular. So again, what I mean by true here is it means that it with the vascular system. So all parts of fern have vascular system in there. So you cut them open, you see, and these now have a megaphyll, the leaf with multiple veins in it. So this is now true megaphyll now. And the key character, if you don't remember anything else, this group have what we call circinate leaf. Circinate leaf is a curl young leaf. The leaf look like this. The young leaf look like curling like that. We'll see example. We'll see picture of that very soon. So if you fail anything else, look for young leaf, and you see circinate leaf, fern, circinate leaf, fern, circinate leaf, always. So this is what you're looking for in fern. And of course, in fern we have two more groups. We have the groups that are homosporous, the one that produce one type of spore. They only have one type of spore. And heterospore, they have two type of spores. And this time it's actually quite easy because it's separated by where they are. So if they are terrestrial fern, the fern that live on land, they are homospore. If your fern is aquatic, meaning they're in the water, they're heterospore. Very simple as that. Okay, so once again, fern, most of the fern you see are sporophyte, they're spore producing. They have vascular system in everything. Anything you can read, I can help. Which part? Oh, terrestrial mean on land. So terrestrial mean things that are on land, right? And aquatic in the water. So if your fern is on land, they are homospore. If your fern is in the water, aquatic, they're heterospore. So you kind of have to know where your ferns come from. And we're going to learn about a few of them in the lab and in the lecture today. So far, so good. And you're like, oh, this is it, this is all fern. Like, it's very little to talk about, but actually there's some small details in between that we have to go over. So this is a fern group, and this is what ferns look like. Like fern, there's a big leaf, and look like bird feather, look like something that you, like feather, you see everywhere. And this is what you're looking for in fern. The young leaf is doing this, the curl. So the succinate leaf is, once again, is a curl young leaf. The young leaf doing the curling. This is the curling, like the spiral. I don't know how you describe it. Like just doing this, going around. And there's a nickname for this. Sometimes it's called fiddle head. And this is a really old term. What, anyone know what the fiddle is? What is that? It's a bird? Crow? Oh, not quite that. Fiddle is a really old term. You ever know violin, right? So violin, cello, like all these things that look like that, they're all called fiddle. And if you look at the end of violin, imagine my imaginary violin here. The head of violin here, they're doing that. Yeah, you should call them violin head, right? So this is look like you're doing the violin, right? So if you have the violin head or fiddle head, this is definitely a fern. When you see this, the young leaf doing this, it's a fern, right? And actually, this is edible. Thai people love this, right? Oh, not all Thai, but I love this. And every time I see this, like, ah! And this is from the northern Thailand. And this is tree fern, big giant fern. It's like, oh my God, it's fern! And like, I think in my phone I have 100 pictures of this. Every time I see the succinate leaf, like, fern! And I took so many pictures of this. So next time, you're gonna plant, is it fern? You look at a young leaf, you see this, definitely a fern. Giveaway, dead giveaway. You cannot go wrong with this. Like, you see they doing this, it's definitely a fern. All right, so the fern have all their terminology, their different words for everything, right? For example, fern leaf we call frond. Don't ask me why people do that. So frond is simply a fern leaf. And of course, they make a few, right? Fern leaf is big, expanding, multiple veins. So the fern leaf just happened to be called frond. That's what they do. Frond. Okay. That's a frond. And you can see multiple veins here, right? There's more than one veins. So you can see this branching vein on the frond, and this is the side that they are make a few. So this is the telling side that they are make a few for sure. Oh, I can't really read that. So this time, unlike those guys that you see this morning, this time you can actually tell that, oh, it's a branching vein on the same leaf. It must be megaphyll, therefore it's monilophyte. Along with that curling thing, for sure. So this have dichotomous vein, which is what you would see. And but in some fern, the frond have two forms. We have the sterile frond, which means not reproducing, not producing spore. Whereas some frond look very different. It's fertile. Fertile meaning they're producing spore. So this is not producing, this is producing. And you can see that the one that produce spore look kind of like drooping and falling, whereas the one that do not produce spore, just like, this is called staghorn fern, and look, it's huge. It's like, I think you can sell this for like 1,000 baht per plant easily. It's huge, it's ginormous, it's beautiful. And the fact that two type of frond, the sterile and fertile, look different, we have a term for this. This is called dimorphism. So dimorphism is when, I'm gonna zoom in for you. When sterile and fertile frond are different. So this is when sterile and fertile frond are different. This is called dimorphism. If you like Latin, like I do, oh frack. I have to write again. Sorry guys. Oops. All right. Oops. Okay, I'll write it down again. So again, di mean two, like two types, right? Dimorphism. Di mean two, morph mean body, two type of 4D. So this is when sterile and fertile frond are different. So if they're not the same, we call them dimorphism. So when you have two type of frond in the same plant, the one that producing spore and the one that not producing spore is different from each other. We'll see example of them in the lab next week. So that's two type of frond. There's some frond that producing spore and not producing spore. But when the frond is producing spore, it look like this. Usually spore is on underside. So if leaf look like this, spore would be underneath. Right? So usually they would produce can't really see, can you? You produce spore. Oh, it's not even on the lower side of frond, and where you would find spore is called sorus. Sorus is not just a bunch of spores. Sorus is a group of sporangia. It's a group of sporangia. So a bunch of spores, a bunch of sporangia together. So each of these mountain is called sorus. We'll have to zoom in next page, right? So sorus is a group of sporangia. Like you pile all the sporangia together. It's on underside, the lower side of the frond. So it's not here, it's down here. If you flip it open, that's how you know it's a fern. It's a group of sporangia. And this is one sorus. This is one sorus. Like this is one sorus. So you see a bunch of sporangia put together. So you can think of sorus look kind of like this. One sporangia, two sporangia, three sporangia, four sporangia. Like this one is sporangia. And on top of that, you have a cover of everything. The cover of everything is called indusium. It's the cover on a sorus. So on each sorus, you have a cover. My equipment. Like this is so, this one sporangia, two sporangia, three sporangia put together, and on top of the sporangia you put a cover on it. Indusium. Right? Same. So from that, this is like so many sori, and each one of it looks like this. It's a cluster of sporangia. And again, sporangia is a plural of sporangium. If you have one, it's sporangium. If you have many sporangiums, not sporangium, it's sporangia. Because it's Latin, I know, it's painful. So many sporangia together form a sorus. And where is the spores? Spore is inside the sporangia, exactly. So inside the sporangium, you have the spore. And you should see that, and you do the, look at the cross section of this thing. So this is what is this part? What is this part? Leaf or frond, right? So this is the long section of cross section of frond. So this is a frond or leaf. And on the underside of the leaf, you have this cluster. The whole thing here is sorus. And indusium cover this part, and inside, underneath indusium, you have sporangia. Inside each sporangia, you have a lot of spores. Based on this picture alone, what type of spores do you think they produce? Homo or heterospores? Homo, right? Why? Because all the spores look like same size, one size of spore. So this is how you screen for it. So this is homospore. All same, because all the spore are same sizes. So this is homospore. I can see them pretty clearly from this picture. So it's like a bunch of sporangium put together, and if you look at each sporangium, it's pretty fascinating because it's very detailed. Have a stalk here, and this whole thing here, is a sporangium. This is one sporangium with the spore inside, no problem, right? The spore inside, but the sporangium wall are quite unique. There's a part here that's really thick. It looked like some kind of insect, like scale insect here, like very thick, like alien, like you know, it's like the alien head. This thing called annulus. This like the annual mean ring. So this is ring-like structure. Very thick. This part is very thick and respond to water. they change shape with the water, right? On the other hand, you have this group of cells, very thin cells, it called lip cells. This is very thin. And it's easy to break. So why does this matter? Why would this matter? Because this is actually very helpful for you to release your spore. How? I'm gonna try to be a spore ranger here. It's so fun trying to do everything. So let's say I am the spore ranger. This is a thick part. This is annulus. This is a lip cell. So the lip cell is very thin, right? Easy to break. This part is really thick, and when this part get water, like this, water, it changes shape and it contracts, and like release the spore. This part releases the spore. So this part is like contract and like break open. So this is how you release a spore. So oops. So once again, once this get water, it do this. It It kind of contract a little bit, and it breaks lip cell, release a spore. Contract and break lip cell. I'll zoom in. They contract and they break lip cells and they release spore. And do we remember what spores becoming? Spore would germinate into gametophyte. So exactly. Actually, this is the first year that actually people get it correct. I'm so glad. Every year, like spore germinate to sperm. No, spore and sperm are different thing. Very different thing. Okay. So spore germinate into gametophyte. And fern gametophyte is very characteristic. It looks like this. It looks like a heart shape. It's called protellus. So it looks like this, like a heart shape. So protellus is a fern gametophyte. It usually looks like this, very flat. And now this one have haploid. So it's only one set of chromosome. It looks very simple. It's grow on the floor. In real life, when I go collect in the forest, this look very much like liverwort. It's flat. It's on the floor. It's on the ground. It look like liverwort. We get it wrong all the time. We get easily confused. But it's a fern gametophyte. And what do gametophyte do? Gametophyte. Gamete mean six cells, right? What are 6 cells? Egg and sperm. So protellus here, they are gametophyte, right? So once again, this is called protellus. So protellus is a fern gametophyte. So the function of gametophyte is to produce egg and sperm. So where do they do it? So we have on the outskirts here, on the outside the heart, you have enteroidea, And Pteridia is male or female? Male, right? Male produce what? The sperm. So they produce sperm here. And below, like at the axis of the heart here, the axis of the heart, you have a ciconia, which is female, right? So you have male here. Oops, sorry. You have male here and female here, and in this achiconia, right, you have the female sex cells right here, which is what? The egg. And the sperm will swim toward egg to do the fertilization. Just like hornbird, they do that on the same heart. In same heart, you can swim from here to go see female, and you make your own baby right on that heart. So egg plus sperm, then you get zygote, right? And that zygote, oh frack. And that zygote become new sporophyte again. So right on that same prothallus, like right on the same heart, you produce sperm. It's very far away. Over there, you produce egg here. The sperm swim to the egg, fertilize, make new sporophyte right on there. And this is young sporophyte. So you can see this is where, like where achiconia used to be. Just like the answer in the quiz, right? Where achiconia used to be, and the sperm will swim to here to fertilize and make new sporophyte. And this new sporophyte now is to end back to regular fern. Very simple, I think. And this is so inspiring. You ever know the lady on the left? She's pretty hot and famous in my time. This is Lady Gaga, the singer of Abacadabra, or Back in the Day, Poker Face, Born This Way, all this. And her outfit looked like Fern Protalis. There's actually no coincidence because they are linked. Because there are actually new genus of fern named after Lady Gaga. I'm not kidding, this is real. You can check this is real stuff, right? And if you read the paper in 2012, it said the etymology, you can see here, the origin of the name, the genus Gaga named in honor of American pop singer, songwriter, performer, Lady Gaga, and for her articulate and fervent defense of equality and expression of today's society, blah, blah, blah. And it's really fitting because I don't know if you follow Lady Gaga, she's really the icon of LGBTQIA plus people. And most of fern are bisexual, right? Because they have both egg and sperm on the same thallus. So, born this way, guys, like bisexual, whatever. So, like, people really look up to Lady Gaga, and she know about this, and she love it. And it's even better because all the Gaga fern have Gaga box in their DNA. Gaga, Ramamar. It's like perfect. It's like too perfect. It's like all other fern don't have Gaga. This Gaga fern have Gaga. It's like, oh God. So here's the fern named Gaga. And if you feel like, oh, Gaga's so boring, I don't like Gaga, I like BTS. You want to name plants after BTS? Yes, you can. You can name plants after every goddamn thing in the world you want. I don't have the plant name after me yet, but I named some plants, and you can name it after anything. Name it after, there's so many Thailandica, like Indosinica, like any things you like. I don't know. Soda Pop PI. I don't know, anyone knows Soda Pop? I hate that song. It's like, it never get out of my head. So this is a fun part. And I think some people hate this because like, oh my God, like what do Lady Gaga do to deserve the name in botany, right? It's like, should name it after Ajahn Beer. Like he does more body teaching, but who cares? So lately, I think the latest one is named after Lisa, no longer Blackpink, but there's a La Lisa I after Lisa. So if you become a botanist, there's so many new plants to be named. So the poppy eye one of these days. So there's a not very well every year when we have exam, right? I show this picture, and it's like, what is the name of this plant? Half the people say Lady Gaga. Like, no, the plant is a fern, monilophyte. Fern, not Lady Gaga, okay? So I might have this picture on the quiz, and they're like, what is this plant? Not the person, okay? And half the time, people are like, I don't know, it look like Lady Gaga to me. But, all right. So here's a life cycle again for ferns. It's very simple. So we, like, it look complicated, but let's walk through this together. So we have spore, right? The spore germinate into the gametophyte. Gametophyte look like a heart shape or Lady Gaga. This is called protellus. On protellus, you have both male produce sperm, right? And you have female producing eggs. Sperm fly to egg, swim to eggs, and they fertilize. They make zygote, and the zygote now they grow up to become the new sporophyte. And sporophyte produce spores. So underneath the leaf of sporophyte, they have sporangium. And sporangium produce spore, and the spore released to grow back to protellus again. And this is homospore, right? All the spore doing the same thing. They produce little heart shape. The heart shape produce egg and sperm. They fertilize. They make a new sporophyte. The sporophyte makes sporangium underneath the leaf. Releases spore. Spore become gametophyte again. So yeah, if you read this life cycle enough time, it's become really easy. But if you see it the first time, the night before exam, you're like, what? It looks scary. It looked very scary, but it's not that bad. Oh my God, we're gonna leave so early today. Like that clock is not good because we almost done. We actually finished with the first half of 3/4. So this is most fern look like this. So far, this is a fern. This is the fern with homospore. So, and most of them are terrestrial, meaning they're on land. So most fern on land are doing this. This is typical fern. Your regular fern look like this. If you want to see, like, I haven't seen a fern before in my life. You go down the building here, and that's the lab building, right? Turn left, and go toward the air compressor, the thing with the water dripping. Underneath that, there's a fern growing, huge, like not a big one, that's about this size. So anywhere with the moisture, the fern love it. We can grow them. So this most typical fern look like this. But we also have the fern that do produce heterospore. Remember, right? Heterospore plant, on the sporophyte, they produce two types of sporangium. So sporangium with a bunch of smaller spore, they produce microspore, right? And another type of sporangium, they produce only big spore. And each of the big spore is called, it's called megaspore. And in the heterosporous plant, microspore growing to become a boy, a male gametophyte. And megaspore grow up to be the female gametophyte. So male produce antheridium to produce egg, achiconium produce, or not egg, sperm, and achiconium produce egg, and sperm and egg fertilize later on. So instead of having, remember the land fern, everything happened in the heart, right? Antheridium and achiconium, sperm and eggs on the same place. In heterosporous fern, they're in different plants. this thing happen on different plants. So here's example of heterosporous fern, the fern that produce the heterospore, this thing called Mercilia. I would ask you to memorize this name, Mercilia. You see them in the lab, you see them all the time around campus. If you're a Thai person, this is called Pak Wen. It's look like clover, there's 4 leaves here. And it's grown in the water. It's a fern. It doesn't look like a fern, it's a fern. If you look close enough, I think it's the next picture. Oh yeah, look at this. There are sarsenet leaf here, sarsenet leaf. That tell you it's a fern. Right, this is sarsenet leaf, and at the bottom of the stem, they also produce sporocarp. So this is what the sporocarp look like. They can't do soras under the leaf like regular fern because they're in the water, right? So I have to create this new structure called sporocarp. It looks kind of like insect eggs thing. It's disgusting. It's a little small, but if you look inside, you see things like this, right? So you have big ball and small ball in the same sporocarp. So the big ball are megasporangium. So meaning that in the big ball here, in the big ball here you have big spores. And in the small balls here you have a bunch of smaller spore, the microspore. So each megaspore germinate into a gametophyte, but this is only female gametophyte, and they only produce egg. Whereas the microspore, the tiny one here, the microspore produce their own gametophyte. The male, I run out of space to write. The male gametophyte, and they produce sperm. So on a separate gametophyte, and then sperm and egg will meet later to fertilize. They're on a different plants. So aquatic fern, they do something different because they're both in the water. It's easy for sperm to swim around. It's okay, right? They will find their girlfriend eventually. So that's the Mercilia. Looks like this. Very unique plant. Easily found throughout Thailand. Have 2 types of sporangia, megasporangium and macrosporangium. They produce different type of spore, therefore the heterosporous fern. Another one is also very common. You need to go back. We need to go back. Okay. Give you some more time to write it down. Yeah, if you need me to stay on a certain slide longer, just like, hey, don't move yet. So all the aquatic fern doing this, 2 types of sporangia, megasporangia and macrosporangia. Okay. So the next one, they do the same thing. It doesn't look like a fern at all. This Azolla pinnata, it looks like a duckweed. It's like floating plants on the water. And it kind of looks like fern if you imagine this is like the leaf. This is like a fern leaf, like doing the fern leaf thing. They do this. This is a pattern of the fern leaf. They do this. This is Azolla pinnata. I think the common name is also Azolla. So Azolla pinnata is a floating aquatic plant. They float on the water. They're very, very abundant. You see, like, if you go to any water, you probably see them floating around. Look like a little fern. It's a fern. So this is a sola pinnata. And what is so cool about this is that if you leave them in the water for so long, it turns red. So it's this red color act as a sunscreen. If you, not in the water, leave them in the sunlight for a real long time, this turn into like really red. So this red pigment here act as a sunscreen to the plant so that they can actually be in the sun, like bright full sun in the water, really hot. It's okay because it have sunscreen on, it turn red. So it can go back and forth, red and green, red and green. That's why in Thailand we call red duckweed. They're not duckweed, they're fern. So they're water fern. And the reason it's becoming very popular, oh, like, you don't know what duckweed is, this is duckweed. Next to it, duckweed. Not the same thing, this is asola. So the reason asola becoming very popular, especially in the agricultural field, is because they actually have something else living inside asola. If you like cut open the asola, if you like break each frond open, you're sitting like this. So this inside each frond or each leaf, there's a cavity, like there's a hole, like this is a cavity, like empty hole. There's a hole inside the leaf, and inside those cavity or the hole, there are cyanobacteria. It's a different type of organism living there, and the cyanobacteria can turn nitrogen into nitrate. So a little bit chemistry, I'm sorry. So this nitrate is good for plant. As fertilizer. Because typically the nitrogen here is not usable for plant. So in the air that we breathe, 60% of the air we breathe right now, each breath is 60% nitrogen, and we cannot use them. It just fills the space. But for plants to use this nitrogen, you need this cyanobacterium to do something to turn it from nitrogen into nitrate. This form is called nitrate. Oops, sorry. This is called nitrate. So in this asola, they contain all the cyanobacteria inside their leaf, and this helps them get more nitrate for plants. And nitrate is what we use for fertilizer for plants, and nitrogen fertilizer. So instead of buying chemical fertilizer that is so expensive, what do? Grab asola, put them on the soil, and that's a natural fertilizer. Cheaper, way more organic, way more nature friendly, but it takes a lot more labor because you have to like grab this asola from the water. It's actually people, I think, like for the low cost fertilizer in a smaller scale, it works really well. So there's a lot of potential for asola, and I think they sell for like 100 baht per kilo. So you don't have to do anything. You take them from the water, put them in the bag, sell them for 100 baht per kilo. They're pretty valuable, and they naturally have all this. And next week, remind me to show you how to do this, and you can like crush them open, and you look at the microscope, you see these cyanobacteria inside. They're always together. And last but not least, we have salvinia. Salvinia is a floating, like jog in Thai mean cup. You can think it's a floating cup. And this is everywhere also in the water, like they like little cup. So it's the leaf look like this, and it's floating around like this. This is also a fern, and some of them become hugely invasive, meaning that they grow into the water and they cover everything else. Right? So this Salvinia, so just memorize them as Salvinia. So Salvinia have the most ridiculous structure. So they have 3 leaves, 1, 2, and 3. The third leaf becoming the leaf that produce spore. This is the sporocarp. So this act as a sporophyll. So they have like 1, 2, and the third leaf here, hanging in the water. And the reason being that this actually help them balancing themselves in the water, so they don't fall over. It's like balancing acts, so they can float. And this is what they look like. And Salvinia, if you look at the leaf here, they have a little hair. The hair look like this. This look like an egg beater shape. Anyone cook? Anyone make cake? You know, like when you like whip up the cream or the eggs. Yeah, whisker. Yeah, it looks like that, and it's always, and this help repel water. So the water won't stick to the surface. That's why they can stay floating. So this way, like this structure help them stay afloat, because you can drop the water on the leaf. The water will fall right off. Don't stick to the top. And so it's stick on like this. This is also a fern. It doesn't look like a fern, it's a fern. So we have 3 things I want you to recognize. Massilia, the one with 4 leaves. Massilia, Azolla, the one look like a little fern, turned red. And this one, Salvinia, look like a little cup in the water. Only 3 aquatic fern that we need to know for this class. There's so many more, but we want you to know these 3 as a representative. And of course, we know ferns. Fern is hugely useful for ornamentation. People love them in the garden. It looks nice and Jurassic Park-like-ish, because they're really abundant back in the dinosaur time. They're way more, like imagine if you look outside if it's Jurassic time right now, outside will be giant ferns everywhere. Not anymore, unfortunately. So, but we still have really big, beautiful ferns, and they're really expensive. And I know a few people who graduate from your faculty and they open the fern garden. They make so much money because like, well, this is really rare. And I grow them for 10 baht. I will sell you for 100 baht. Because most people don't really know how difficult to grow. The fern is not easy to grow, but it's not that hard either. So if you know it really well, like, and most people are very bad at growing plants. It's like, well, if your plant dies, just come back and buy more. That's a trick of, like, that's why the tree seller have their business, right? Because like, oh, you buy one tree, you buy a flower pot, right? Oh, it should be with me forever, but it's not, because you kill them. And you have to go back and buy it again, and again, and again, and again. So that's why farmers make money, because people kill plants, right? Unintentionally, but fern is one of them. Like, they're really beautiful, and they're not easy to keep if you don't know them well. But if you know them well, you can make a lot of money out of it. And of course, this fiddlehead thing, the succinate leaf, is in all kind of Thai food. In Thai food, I think they put with oyster sauce and then stir fried it, or you can do spicy salad with it, make it to a yum. And I think in European country you can find this in the market, and they saute it with butter and pepper and salt, and tastes amazing. So they actually edible. It's a bit bitter, but not too badly. And of course, this a solar, right? A solar have this cyanobacteria inside, and you put them. You can feed them to the cow, feed them to the chicken, or you can put them in the rice paddy field and increase nitrogen. And the rumor has it that if you feed them to the chicken, the egg yolk become more orange, like brighter color, because they have extra nitrogen, more protein. Supposed to be more nutritious. But I never try. I don't have chicken. So if you have chicken at home, you can try that. All right. And some of these aquatic fern become hugely invasive. This thing, Savidia molesta. If you put one of them in the water, it's spread, and it's really difficult to get out. Just like water hyacinth, it's really difficult. And this thing is called forbidden ornamental. Actually, you're gonna see them in the lab next week, and they're actually illegal to have. So don't tell anyone that we have them. We have them right here. So I mean, like, if you don't put them in the open water, it's fine. Just keep them contained, because once they get out into the open water, you finish. There's a big lake in southern Thailand that used to be full of water lotus, like water lily everywhere, and now it's just this thing. Like everywhere, it's like thick. It's just cover the whole thing, so it get nasty. And that is it for today. Exactly 1 hour.